Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, wait, when did my face start changing? Not necessarily in a bad way, just different. Maybe your skin suddenly seems drier. Maybe you're seeing some little lines around your eyes that definitely weren't there a few years ago. Or maybe your makeup just doesn't sit quite the same. Or maybe you're noticing more of a texture, not quite as smooth, and like your skin doesn't bounce back as quickly the way that it used to. Or maybe you caught yourself in some absolutely horrible overhead lighting somewhere and thought, who is that? Especially if a picture was taken that you weren't prepared for. If you're in your 30s, I'm 39, 40s, 50s, or beyond, I think you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I just said, I'm approaching 40. My birthday's in April, almost there. And I realized something. I don't want to fight aging, but I don't want to neglect myself in the name of accepting aging either. I think there's a place somewhere in between those two extremes, a place where we can say, yes, I'm getting older. Yes, my face is changing. Yes, I still want beautiful skin. And those things don't contradict each other. I mean, they don't have to. So today we're going to talk about what's actually happening to our skin as we get older and also what I'm changing about the way that I care for mine, and why this little JAFRA experiment that I've been doing has really actually become about something much bigger than just skincare. Because I think a lot of women, probably men too, need to hear this. Hi, guys. Welcome back to You Are Worth It Health. I'm Rebecca. And if you are new here, this channel probably looks a little confusing right now because you see me talking about nutrition, but also fasting, health, autoimmune disease, and then suddenly JAFRA skincare. But there's actually a reason. Stick with me. I have a background as a nutritionist and a health coach. And because of that, I've spent years thinking about how the things happen inside our bodies then affect what we experience on the outside. And I can't look at skin as something completely separate from health because your skin is not just decoration. Your skin is part of your body. It's an organ. And just like the rest of us, it changes. Hormones change. Our lifestyle changes, our nutritional needs definitely change over time. Our environment also affects us. We accumulate years of sun exposure, and our skin produces and retains moisture differently over time. So collagen is going to change, and elastin or elasticity is also going to change. And eventually, some of that life starts showing up on our faces. We do get these marks. And I actually think that's kind of a beautiful thing. But that doesn't mean I don't want to take care of my skin. So let me tell you my JAFRA story. If you're new to this series, there's another piece you need to know. JAFRA isn't a company that randomly sent me products. I grew up with this stuff. My mom, Patricia Bergstrom, has been a JAFRA consultant for decades and has been using JAFRA for more than 50 years. Well, I guess I'm more than 30, my sister more than 40. Really, I actually confirmed with my mom just a few days ago. It's been like 49 years. She's about at her 50-year anniversary. But anyways, my sister Angela, who I just mentioned, we call her Angel. She's also faithfully used JAFRA forever, and she looks awesome. I love her skin. I want to look as good as her. But point is, I've been around JAFRA for 30 years of my life, I guess, that I can remember, but really forever. And I remember the products. I remember the smells and the little jars, and I remember my mom using them. Obviously, they've changed a little bit over time as products and packaging do. So when I started looking around on YouTube and realized hardly anybody's talking about JAFRA. You guys don't know about it? What? And then some of my friends, really just a couple, didn't know about it. And even my own daughters didn't seem to know about it. And I realized I dropped the ball, my friends. I am so sorry. But at the time, I couldn't understand. Like, why don't people know? But the further I got into it, the more I realized there are plenty of people on the internet who can hold up a bottle and tell you what's in it. I want to talk about the woman who's putting it on her face because that's where it gets interesting. There's a strange experience of watching yourself age. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s or really anytime after 20, you probably do. Who knows? Maybe even at 20. I remember thinking, "Ugh," but it gets, more so, clearly. But I don't think we talk about enough how strange aging can actually feel. Like, I still feel like me. And then I'll see a picture of myself or look closely in the mirror, and suddenly I'll notice something that wasn't there before, like a new line or a change in texture or something around my eyes, maybe feeling a little darker. And I think there's a temptation to immediately interpret that as something is wrong, especially us women, but you men don't lie. I know you do it too. I know you do. We're surrounded by messaging that's telling us that younger automatically means prettier. Erase this, lift that, smooth this, hide that, turn back time, reverse aging, anti-aging. It's exhausting a little bit, right? Eventually, you can start looking at your own perfectly normal face as though it's a problem that needs to be solved. And I don't want to live like that. But there's another extreme that I also really don't agree with. It is the idea that because aging is natural, that we're somehow shallow if we care about our appearance. Like real women don't worry about such vain things or silly things or whatever. Everyone just needs to focus on what's important. Okay, I don't believe that. I can appreciate my face and moisturize it. I can accept a wrinkle and still use an eye treatment. I can embrace turning 40 and still put on a serum. I can love the woman I'm becoming while taking care of the skin that she's living inside of. Those aren't contradictions. And it's really becoming the philosophy behind this series. So let's talk about what is actually happening to our skin. We're going to talk about the science of it for a minute because this is the health coach side of my brain that I can't turn off. I just can't. Our skin changes naturally as we age. Collagen production changes, elasticity changes, like I said a minute ago. And because of this, our skin can become thinner and drier. And cell turnover changes, which just means kind of the exfoliation of your skin to cycle, like fall off and be replaced with newer, fresher cells. It slows down and it does change. We can also retain moisture differently as that slows down and as our skin changes. And there's also the accumulated effect, which means like the impact of everything over time adding up that our skin has experienced over decades, especially UV exposure, which like by that I mean excessive sun exposure. The sun is good. I am pro sun. I think everyone should get about 15 or 20 minutes of sunlight every day. I think that's great. That being said, excessive UV exposure beyond that, especially beyond an hour a day, is going to impact our skin. And then women, men too, but women especially have another piece of the puzzle that's very major, and that is hormones. As we move through our 30s and our 40s, and eventually we're moving toward maybe inside of already because it's starting earlier for so many women, perimenopause and then menopause. And hormonal changes can affect our skin. So you can have a skincare routine that worked beautifully for so many years and you loved it and it's been no problem. And suddenly find yourself thinking, what happened? Like, why am I dry? Like, why is this product suddenly not enough? Did they change their formula? Right? Have you ever asked yourself that? You have a product you love and then you're determined they changed it. They did. You just know it. And you're wondering, why does my makeup look different? Why does my skin feel different? And I want you to hear this. Maybe your skin isn't suddenly bad and maybe the product didn't change, but maybe your skin has different needs now. It's a completely different way to look at it. There's there's an impact when instead of standing in the mirror and asking, what's wrong with my face? What if we started asking, what does my skin need from me in this season of my life today? And I like that question more, right? Come on, let's be honest. I love that question because that's how I want to approach health too. Not why do I hate my body, but why does my body do this? What does my body need from me? Ask yourself. Now, skincare doesn't have to start with a $100 serum. Here's where the nutritionist in me again and the skincare loving woman in me have to agree on something. You can't completely separate skincare health from the rest of your health. Now, I want to be careful here. I'm not telling you that drinking enough water is going to erase your wrinkles. It isn't. It won't. It can't. And I'm not going to tell you that eating one particular food is going to magically give you perfect skin. That's not how biology works. But skin exists inside the same body we're trying to take care of. It's just on the outside, right? So yes, nutrition matters. Adequate protein matters. Healthy dietary patterns matter. Sleep matters. Stress matters. Movement matters. Hydration matters. Not smoking, it matters. If you're doing it and you can cut it out, great. If you feel you can't, cut back. Do what you can. And then also protecting ourselves from excessive UV exposure, it matters. So if you know that you're going to be outside all day or at the water park or working in the backyard for several hours, go ahead and put on some sunblock. The skin care comes alongside of protecting ourselves from the excessive UV exposure inside and outside. It's actually one of the things that I want to explore more deeply throughout this series because I don't want to just chase beautiful skin. I want healthy aging. I want energy. I want strength. I want to feel good. I want to keep doing the things that God puts in front of me. And yes, I'd also like my skin to look really nice while I'm doing them if I can. I think we're allowed to want both. It's okay. Okay, so I want to address the most boring anti-aging advice, maybe one of the most important also. Let's talk about something that it's not nearly as glamorous as face oils and beautiful serums, but sun protection, like I just mentioned. It's one of those things that is so easy to overlook when we're buying skincare that we'll spend money trying to improve the appearance of aging while continuing to expose our skin to one of the major contributors to visible premature aging. UV exposure can contribute to wrinkles, changes in pigmentation, and other visible signs of aging, which is why sunscreen belongs in this conversation about aging skin. And it's where JAFRA surprised me again because Darn it, I didn't bring it down, but I actually have this sunscreen from the Royal Defy line, and it hadn't really made it a star of the series yet, but the more I've learned, the more I think that this might be one of the most important steps sitting on my counter because I'm not just trying to treat what has already happened to my skin. I also want to protect it going forward too. And there's something about that mindset that I really like. I'm not trying to freeze myself at 39 and a half. I can't. I just can't. I'm caring for the 49-year-old Rebecca that I hope to be in 10 years. And then the 59-year-old Rebecca, 20 years from that. And then the 69-year-old Rebecca, 30 years? That's a long time. I'm going to be wearing this skin for ideally another 30, 40 years. I'm doing something today that hopefully that version of Rebecca 70.0 years old, she will be glad that I did. And that feels much more like health to me. So let's actually talk about my routine. Let's consider some of the stuff. When you get your products or with whatever you're currently using. One thing I'm learning is that I need to start with clean skin. I don't want to feel like my skin is completely stripped after cleansing it either. So, especially as my skin ages, I want clean, comfortable skin. So, I would use a makeup remover or a makeup remover wipe and then use the JAFRA Royal products. First, use the cleanser. I rinse it off. You can put it on and then just wipe it with a warm cloth as well, whichever you prefer. And then you're going to use the Defy Active Firming Serum. And rather than rushing through this part, I've been trying to make it part of like a skincare ritual, not some like elaborate spa experience. I don't have time for all that. I'm a mom. I have a life. People need things, but just a few minutes where I'm intentionally taking care of myself. And I think there's something that women are really bad about sometimes and we'll care about everybody around us, our kids, our spouse, our parents, our friends, people at work, the house, the dog, people at church. Like everybody gets put on the list and somehow we're at the bottom. And then we're shocked when we're exhausted. So this is a tiny thing, but it's mine just to do for myself, just to feel a little bit better. Okay, so then the eye area. The Defy Lift Express eye treatment is really nice around the eyes because a thick cream. You just need a little bit. Just put right through this area, right through here. With the wash and the serum, you're going to do that all over. But the eye treatment, just put around your eyes. Now, I'm not rubbing or pulling aggressively. I want to say something while I'm showing you this. Like these lines are not an emergency. They're not. I've smiled, I've laughed, I've cried, I've squinted into the sun when I probably should have been wearing sunglasses. I've lived and I'm not ashamed of that. I just want to take care of the skin that's been along for all of it.